And with that, welcome to day 4 of my video series of how I am building my own Fallout game based upon the Fallout 4 creation kit. And oh boy, what a day that was. So first things first, I started with more assets because that's a work that just never stops. I always found it sad that the terminals in Fallout 4 aren't serving as lootable containers for electrical components. And that is something that I changed now. Because there are plenty of electrical components as junk or misc items in the game that remain confusing in like what are they even used for. Hence, I made the military circuit board to be a terminal mainboard, the flux sensor that occurs during the Brotherhood of Steel quest as a graphics card, and the generic chipboard is now a terminal RAM stick. And I decided to make the fusion pulse chat that only occurs once in the entire game, our power supply unit. Because what is more Fallout than a nuclear power terminal, am I right? I even considered to make the RAM stick super high in value just as a little side cheek to the current global market pricing and dealing with my financial backlash hysterically, but ultimately if our world would continue like this, they also would become useless within a couple of years, so schwamm drüber, as we'd say in German, sponge above. For the container itself, I practically just copy-pasted the model path for the terminals, while the aforementioned items were put into a leveled list, so a loot pool for these containers in the leveled item tab of the object window. Further, I brought in some new consumables that I missed during the Far Harbor DLC. Oh God. Whoa. I'm just a fishy! What are you looking at? We're just modding! Edible fish. And this is where you can see now what I meant in a previous episode of this format about not loading the DLCs as requirements, but still using their assets to not exceed the maximum build count in exterior worlds. The creation engine has a hard-coded limit of how many objects you can place into exterior worlds that is also affected by what add-ons you load. If you load a plugin that doesn't place anything into exterior cells, you are fine. For Harbor and Nuka World have both exterior worlds that hence reduce our maximum build count, and if we want to use stuff that came with these add-ons, we have to deliver them with our mod. However, you cannot just go ahead and deliver all the things to the player for free without them having purchased the add-on first, so I had to build in a little boundary that allows me to continue with my mod while also protecting Bethesda's legal rights. I exported the models of the fish and the Malek spawn that are used in static objects around Far Harbor, but not their textures. This causes the model in the creation kit to have this pink material that suggests the textures are plain missing. However, upon further investigation, you will see that it still knows what the material file is, so when you activate the Far Harbor DLC in-game, the textures are obviously found again. That way, we modders use this middle ground of reutilizing assets from add-ons, but the player has to still purchase them in order for them to properly work. I'm sure there's also a way to do that without delivering the model even, I just haven't found that yet. Fellow modders, feel free to share your ideas with me. After these multiple implementations, it was time to work on something story-related. I will do my best to spoil as least as possible so you can still enjoy the story in the future too someday. To stay safe from the cold nuclear winter outside, it makes sense that some people reutilize the U-Bahn tunnels of Berlin, the place where the story takes place. One of the factions I have written occupies some of those tunnels and sells tickets in exchange for money as like a toll for safe passage to another part of the town underneath. I wanted to reutilize the Nuka K ticket as it has the perfect size in-game already, and this is where things get sketchy now, as that little spoiled brat just refused to work properly. If you've seen previous videos, you know how much work I put into textures, and so the disappointment was great when I had to see that apparently the texture I had was not right or half the size. Checking that, I did use the right texture, but apparently the resolution I exported wasn't right. As scaling something small up reduces the image quality by a lot, I was left with nothing else but recreating the texture from scratch for double the size. Just so did the precisely same thing again. Restarts of the engine, re-imports, Outfit Studio, Nivscope, nothing worked. It even confused other modders in my Twitch chat severely. And just like that, 3 hours of work were practically for nothing. One modder, Captain Ultima, who works a lot with 3D models and textures, even took an extra look himself and couldn't find the issue either. So I had to move away from the Nuka Kai, took it as a base model, and get reminded of an item I spotted right away in day 1, the ID card. So for yet another new texture, and this time it finally worked. But yeah, 3 hours shot into the wind, as we say in German. Sometimes it just doesn't work. As I had a 12-hour day excluding research and video production, I will end it for you now. But the next one will be a nice one. Maybe you want to throw guesses into the comments already what lies ahead now for that. Special thanks to my Ko-fi subscribers, and always remember, everything in life is a marathon and not a sprint. Therefore, don't try to get everything done in one day, as great things take time and consistency. You got this. Outtakes. I wanted to realize the Nuka Kai way too fast. Way too fast. Don't speed up, Speedy Gonzalez. Slow down. As I had a 12 hours. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Help me! I'm losing it. Okay, again.